So what is the secret to a man loving his wife? I think I have the answer to that question. Let's have this conversation. Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. If you are new, I am Doran and we are all about transforming your lives, your marriage, and your relationship through the content that we share on this channel. So what is the real secret to a man loving his wife? The real secret is to first love God. Yes, you heard me right. I know you're probably thinking that what does loving God has to do with loving my wife? Well, if you give me a few minutes of your time, I can explain it to you. Now, if you are a believer in God and I am a believer, I am a kingdom man, a kingdom citizen. I believe that I was created in the image of God. He is the creator of all things. Then it makes sense that the one who created me, the one who created us, know more about love than we do. God has everything to do with love because he is love. The Bible tells us in 1 John chapter 4 and verse 8 that he that loveth not knoweth not God, because God is love. See guys, the very nature of God is love. The very essence of God is love. Everything that God does, it flows from a place of love. For God so loved that he gave his only begotten son. He gave his best. God created us in his own image. And if God created us in his image, then we are image bearer of God, the image bearer of the one who created us. And if we have the characteristics of God, the attributes of God, right, the principles of God's love for us, then we must love like he does. Now, if God is love, if his nature is love, then it is safe to say that if you are not tapped into the source of love, if I am not tapped into the source of love, it is impossible for you to love your wife the way she desired to be loved. Now, how does your wife desire to be loved? She desires to be loved unconditionally. It means that you love her with her flaws. You're going to love her with her hang-ups. You're going to love her with her issues. You're going to love her with all her habits, the bad habits and the good ones. It's all about loving her comprehensively. We are human beings. We have sinful nature. We're not always perfect. We're not, a matter of fact, we're not perfect at all. And so it takes more than just your emotion to really love your wife unconditionally. Unconditional love means that you are loving your spouse even with condition that you do not like. Think about it. It is nearly impossible to love someone this way without the love of God assisting them. You know, your wife have behaviors that are not necessarily favorable towards you. So in order for you to love her unconditionally, you have to love her through those seasons that is not always beneficial to you. I know that I could not love my wife without the help of the Holy Spirit. I know that for a fact. My flesh would not allow me to do so. It is absolutely impossible for me to love her unconditionally in my own way, in my own will. We are selfish creatures. We are self-centered. We want things our way. And oftentimes, we don't normally lead from a heart of service. It's always about what I can get, what I can receive. And so I am not capable to love that way alone by myself. But with the help of the Holy Spirit assisting me, assisting us, we can do all things through Christ. My friend, please, husbands, men, I want you to understand that I'm not telling you to let your spouse, let your wife just do what you want, disrespect you just because you love her. No, love is about honor. Love is about serving. Love is about being respectful. So I hope that you pick the right mate. I hope that you chose wisely when you pick your wife. Hello, my friends. I just want to take a quick break to say the best way that you can help to support this channel is by hitting the like button. You have no idea how important it is to hit that like button, because when you do, it helps the algorithm to share this video out to more people. That's the best way you can support this channel. Okay, so let's get right back into it. A woman was created to receive love. God did not tell the woman to love the man because love for a woman comes natural. Yes, It is how she was created by God. Her attributes and her characteristic automatically flows from a place of love, from the rhythm of love. She is a nurturer. She is a good communicator. Most women are better communicator than men. That's why women show more emotion and care in nature easily. She will often lead with her emotions, and oftentimes that allow her to get into trouble. Most men will take advantage of her because of that. Of course, men and women are both wired to receive love. We're wired for relationship, for love, intimacy, and affection. However, this is the source of a woman existence. Your wife cannot survive without it. Loving your wife is like what sunlight and water is to a plant. It cannot survive without it. After a while, it will wither and die. A man does not flow from emotional love. Does he need it? Yes. Is it something that he gravitates towards? Not necessarily. He gravitates and flow from a place of respect and honor. This is the driving force of love for him. Now, God told the man to love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. In order for you to really love your wife, you need to know how she was created by God, how she was created to receive love. You need to know the characteristics of love and how to activate them in her life through your loving behavior towards her. Now, in Matthew chapter 22, verse 36 through 40, the scribes and the Pharisees, they came to Jesus and asked him a question. In verse 36, they asked, "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus replied, "Love the Lord thy God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind." In verse 38, this is the greatest commandment. And in verse 39, Jesus put it together when he said, "And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." My friends, it is important to understand this because you cannot love your wife the way she desires to be loved if you don't love God, because God is the source of love. If you're not tapping into the source, that means that you lack the key part of what you need in order to truly love your wife. The Bible tells us that after loving God, we must love our neighbors as ourselves. As a married man, the closest person to you should be your wife. She is your closest neighbor. No other woman or man, for that matter, should be closer to you than the woman that you marry. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 28 through 33, it gives us a clear example of this kind of love. Verse 28 tells us, "In this same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own body. He who loves his wife loves himself." Let's talk about that for a moment. A husband must love his wife as his own body. How you love yourself will determine how you love your wife. See, the relationship that you have with your wife is a reflection of the relationship that you have with yourself. A man who loves his wife loves himself. Your wife is an extension of who you are. You are both one. Whatever you do to your wife, you are doing it to yourself. You cannot give to your wife what you don't have. Verse 29 says, "After all, no one ever hate their own body." Do you hate your body? You feed your body, right? You take care of yourself. Just as Christ does the church. Paul was giving you an example of how important it is to show love to another person, because Christ is the groom and the church is the bride. It's an example Paul was trying to demonstrate between Christ's love for the church and how a man is supposed to love his wife. If you don't hate your own body, you will not hate your wife's body. If you care for your body, then you should be able to care for your wife. You are both one. In verse 31, it clearly says that for this reason, a man leave his father and his mother and unite with his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. See, that's it right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's what this love and marriage thing is all about. It's about becoming one. The two becoming one. The two locking together as one flesh, you and your spouse, you and your wife. So what kind of love am I talking about? When I talk about loving your wife, I am talking about selfless love. I am talking about the kind of love that serves and adds value to her life. I am talking about being the kind of man she loves coming home to. I'm talking about the kind of husband she's not afraid to be naked with. Yes, you heard me. Naked. Oh, yes, I didn't make a mistake. I'm talking about naked. Can she get naked with you? I'm talking about being naked with her emotions, naked with her feelings, naked with her sexuality, naked with her problems, naked with her vulnerability. Because you see, intimacy and vulnerability, they pass through the same door. They live in the same house. They are roommates. You cannot have one without the other. I am talking about the kind of love that put your wife first above all, at all times. The kind of love that everyone automatically know that you love and respect your wife. That when it comes to your wife, you don't play games, man. You never put her in a position to feel like you're compromising your character and your integrity. When it comes to your wife and your family, you're not afraid to go mano to mano. You're not afraid to put down the Bible and go to war for her. And then you go and pray later. Man, I'm serious about this. Marriage ain't for punks. Marriage is for real brothers, real men. See, the kind of love I'm talking about is being a leader, being a priest over her life, being the protector, being a provider. I'm talking about taking care of her physical, her emotional, her sexual needs. See, let me tell you something. If you are a godly man and understand your role and your position as a husband, as a father, a real husband is not afraid to be this kind of man. And if you pick the right godly wife who knows her responsibility alongside you, a woman who desires to be not just like the idea of being a bride, but she desires to be a wife, this should not be hard to accomplish at all. The Holy Spirit will guide you. Having good role models and having a mentor in your life will help you. It's about knowing that you have the ability to love, man. Love her with the unconditional kind of love. Loving her from an authentic place. Loving her for who she is and being the kind of man in her life that helps her to become the best version of herself. That's the kind of love. That's the secret, my friend, to love your wife. And so guys, this is the end of the video. Guys, please like and share, and please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you have not subscribed to this channel, man, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless you, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Be blessed.